we're talking a little bit about 3 to 5 Club, getting eyes on your business, outside eyes on your business, the value of that, what you've gotten from that. And so, thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So why don't you give us a second and tell us a little bit about what you do and what your business is?
Well, what I do also have a business partner, so we do this together. It's a long-term business. We've been in business since about 2005. I founded the company, and it's senior care. Promise Care is the name of the company. We do in-home care, private pay for seniors. And overall, we are trying to give peace of mind to the people having us come in, our clients, as well as their families. We're a small boutique white glove service, and we are a private company. We are not a franchise.
Nice. And where do you have many locations, or do you operate primarily out of one spot?
We operate out of Minneapolis.
Okay. Yeah. Right on. I find it really interesting what you do. I sit on a board of ESG Housing, which is a low income seniors housing place, and there's no supports, medical supports or nursing or anything like that. It's just a dignified home that people can go and live in. And so then you're providing those supports so that people can stay in their own homes, or are you providing a facility as well?
Well, the underlying mission is that people can stay in their own home.
Yeah.
And it's possible with outside help. Now, if they've had to move to a facility for reasons, there are lots of different reasons why they may need to, they still want our help many times. They want us to come in and just be that constant person that they know, kind of the second set of eyes, third set of eyes on a situation that they're in. If they're in a facility, nice to have somebody else able to come in and help them out.
Yeah, right on. And so how long have you been in 3 to 5 Club?
So it's been a little bit of a windy path with 3 to 5. So Chuck Blakeman, the founder of 3 to 5, wrote the book, Making Money is Killing Your Business.
Yeah.
Which discovered that, read it, kind of got wind of where Chuck is located, and he offered a private coaching course over 5 days. So I took advantage of that.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to become a facilitator. I was so taken by the book. I was so taken by the information. It was like something that I'd never heard before. I'd been in I've been in so-called networking groups. I mean, and they are just that. They're just networking group.
Yeah.
It isn't so much working on your business. It's not as much as making value and putting value on your business and how do I grow it. It was about getting leads and about, increasing revenue. But 3 to 5
selling things to each other.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's about selling things to each other. Yeah, I love that about 3 to 5 Club as well. That there's, we're not there. There's definitely some collaboration, and you meet some neat people, and you want to work together. That's the difference. You want to work together because you know these people and you've heard their stories. But we're not there.
It's not the purpose.
That's not the purpose. We're not there to. Yeah, exactly. So that's super interesting that you say that. And so, sorry, when did that start?
So that was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that might have been 2018.
Okay.
Approximately.
Okay.
So came back to Minneapolis with what I had learned, started my own group. And
your own 3 to 5 Club group.
That started the group. COVID hit. Nobody wanted to meet in person. And so it kind of just, fell apart. Always communicating with people, always keeping up with it. And then now, presently, I joined a virtual group out of Colorado that I'm in and brought in another friend to that group. And we are branching off and starting our own business, our own group in Minneapolis again.
Right on. That's so neat. So you've been, for all intents and purposes, a member for what, 28 to at least 5 years. So you've been
Oh, at
through
least.
nearly
Yes.
3 cycles of material.
Right.
It's neat to hear people who, one of the things I found with 3 to 5 Club is, yes, there's a rotating list of topics, some of which we talk about every year, some are every 2 years, but it's really neat to see members in 3 to 5 Club who just keep going and go, yep, I've done this before, but here's the next round. And it's interesting when you get to that next time through that same material, how your business is completely different and you've kind of forgotten about it, or you need the refresher or whatever, right?
And you find different things in there that will work for you now.
Yeah.
I mean, today's, what we're studying, or we're focusing on is a subject that, how are we, what does our leadership philosophy look like? It's different today than it was 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And we can't just assume that it's always going to be the same. So these things come up, they make you think. You've got the other members who will hold you accountable.
Yeah.
And we're all doing it together. And the big thing, again, is having a place to say, I don't know. I don't understand this. I don't feel like I'm on track. And with the other members watching you and sharing their stories and sharing their path, you start to develop new ideas and new ways of maybe doing something, or, maybe not a totally new way, but perfecting the ways you already have.
Yeah.
And it never, ever gets old. There's always something.
So specifically now, where were you at before 3 to 5 Club, and how, as being a member of 3 to 5 Club, like, what would you say specifically, how has it impacted your business?
So what I did is BNI, Business Network International, which was, or networking, was again a networking group, met some really fantastic people in it. That was my first, I was in that for maybe 5 years. I was in another group called, was WPO, Women's Presidents Organizations, where it was a group of women, higher level business women. Again, helping you run on the treadmill faster.
Yeah.
Not helping you get off. Like 3 to 5 is like, what does your next 3 to 5 years look like so you can take a vacation, so you can walk away? We applaud people that can do that, and their business is still run and they're still making money, even though they're not in the day-to-day.
Yeah.
So those two groups were so different. And there's a lot of groups out there, but 3 to 5 is the only one that I have found that really helps you take a step back. And not, the business will still run, but it's helping develop those things that you can, in 3 to 5 years, really start taking steps back. Yeah. Going on a vacation, coming back and going, well, I didn't miss anything.
Everything's still running. Yeah.
Everything's still running.
Yeah. And
so we applaud each other for that.
And so just to be clear, your 3 to 5 for you has impacted you more in terms of how you approach your business rather than, accelerating your growth or whatever like that. It's just been how you've thought about how you're doing business and how to structure it so that you can have a bit more freedom in your life.
And the surprising thing is that growth will happen. It will. We like to approach 3 to 5 with an abundant mindset.
Yeah.
You're doing all the right things, and growth in business will follow along.
Yeah.
It's not about, being necessarily the best and fighting your way to the top. It's doing it with grace and having that abundant mindset, and not running in a scarcity mindset all the time, afraid of your competition. Well, you don't
Yeah.
have to be.
Yeah.
You don't have to be.
You don't have to be. And so I guess out of the 22 or so topics that we talk about in rotation, what are your favorites? What would you say are the most impactful ones for you?
Well, I really like, I mean, I think what we're studying now is hedgehogs, and it's talking about what are those, and it's kind of we're comparing the hedgehog to the fox. We want to be more of the hedgehog. We want to do things in a quiet way. We want to do things to be noticed, where the fox is trying to be clever and maybe sneaky on how they do business, and a hedgehog is more loving and kind and not as aggressive.
Yeah.
And so that's really I think it's been good for me, to
Yeah.
really kind of focus in on that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Zeroing in on the few things that you're really good at.
right,
Yeah. Yeah.
right. And I think I love, there's 2 months a year, which we call the wild card months. So we're able to choose what we want to have on those 2 months. It's different, every year.
Yeah.
So what we do, or what we're talking about this year, I mean, is something that, what's going to impact our businesses. What are we all wondering about? AI is one, that we're thinking, December, our wildcard month, we're going to talk about that. Sometimes we'll have speakers come in,
Yeah.
talking about business financing, or, how, just a lot of different things and we're able to choose what is everybody wondering about? What do we want to learn more about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those, I love the wild card months.
Yeah. Yeah. Neat. It's interesting. We just went back to, in our leadership meeting for our organization yesterday, we just went back to process mapping. We've got an efficiency problem in one of our departments, and we're going, how do we address this efficiency problem? Because we love everybody that works here. The math just isn't lining up. And so we need to make this math make more sense. And so how are we going to address this? And a lot of people, I think a lot of companies would go straight to, well, it's time for layoffs, or, whatever, and try and pull more out of your people by just dictating or handing down an edict from above on, it's time for you to work more and I want to see some overtime and whatever. Whereas it's interesting, because my business partner actually referred us back to process mapping, going, well, I think we need to map out what's happening here, because we haven't done that in a few years for this particular. And so process mapping to me is like one of the big ones. I really like that module. And my business partner, somebody who hasn't been through 3 to 5, who really enjoyed the fruits of 3 to 5 in our business, put us right back to it. And now for Q4, everybody's going through maps again, the entire team, to figure out where the breaks in our efficiency are and how to get things done quicker and more effectively. And it's not about laying people off or working people harder.
No.
It's about understanding, where people are spending their time that they shouldn't be, because I think there's a lot of that happening here. And so,
well, I do agree with you. We call it also freedom mapping. I agree that is the kind of the foundation of a business.
yeah.
Now you can take it and simplify it, or you can magnify it, for every, process that your business might have.
Yeah.
But it does show you, really the steps and what has to be done. I think we try to rush through things sometimes, and having that map in front of us for ourselves as well as our stakeholders. And the other thing I think is great with the mapping is there's certain parts of it you can share with your clients.
Yeah.
You can say, this is what your experience is going to look like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the same for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that. And
Yeah.
again, that's a 1 month, in the, story of 3 to 5, it's 1 month, but actually taking it further is necessary, because it's so key.
Yeah.
To how your business runs.
Right on. And so maybe one of the last questions, just tell me about, what was the structure of your business before? How many people, and how much were you doing in 2017 compared to what it is today?
I think what I can compare is in 2017, more than anything, we've always been a small boutique company.
Yeah.
But I want to say that in being in 3 to 5 and learning, it's a whole mindset shift. It's been for me, how I approach things. I believe that, I think back then, I felt like I needed to have my fingers in everything. I needed to be watching everything. I needed to know what everybody was doing. And now I don't. I think you just, you set up the structure, the mapping helps tremendously. And then I think you let it go. You trust it. You have to
Yeah.
check it every so often, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
But I don't have that feeling like I have to have my hands on everything.
Was a result of that growing your team through that process?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Yeah.
Not necessarily growing.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes having my hands off it, things would run better.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. 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 Isn't that funny, eh? How somehow we are our own worst enemy often, you know? So
I just, I kind of shed that feeling of having to be in control. I don't. And
yeah.
that's where 3 to 5 has really helped me the most. It's just knowing, put this in place and everything should click along.
All right, Carey. So where do we find you and your business online?
Well, my business is promisecareinc.com.
Yeah, thank you.
And if anyone wants to email me with any questions about 3 to 5, it's Carey, Carey, at promisecareinc.com.
Yeah, right on. Thank you so much, Carey Lindeman. I appreciate you doing a testimonial for 3 to 5 Club and telling us a bit about your story. I'm just grateful that you agreed to do this with us.
Appreciate it, Clayton. Good
Thank
to
you,
see
Carey.